Question number 6. 5 people A, B, C, D and E are seated about a round table. Every chair is spaced equidistant from the adjacent chairs. Then 3 statements are given. C is seated next to A seated 2 seats from D, B is not seated next to A. On the basis of above information, which of the following must be true? Then 3 statements are again given. D is seated next to B, E is seated next to A, D and C are separated by 2 seats. Select the correct answer using the code given below. So this is the question. So we have to draw out the entire configurations to analyze these 3 given statements. So we'll fill in the information. So it's a round chair and adjacent equidistant. So we'll this will be our, we'll just draw one configuration. A chair will be here, 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 and something like this. Configuration is something like this. So in the exam hall, you don't have to draw the squares and all. You can just go in with filling with the alphabets directly. So C is, we'll just see how that can be done. In the first option, it is C seated next to A. So since there is no alphabet filled in, we can randomly choose one seat and start filling. C is seated next to A. We'll just fill in C first. So C, and then it could be here, here. Okay. We don't know whether A is here or A is here. Since it is only given C is seated next to A, this position and this position can, A can take place, this position and this position. So we don't know that. So first what we do is, we will first assume A is on the left, this position, A is on this position. So we will take that as case 1, A, and we don't know the seat, empty seat, empty seat, empty seat. So this is case 1. Now we'll, case 2 is A is here. We'll deal that later. So we'll assume A is here, then fill in the other informations. Second is A is seated 2 seats from D. A is seated 2 seats from D means there is only one person between D. So it will be like A, someone, D. Whether it is in clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction, we don't know. So there are 2 possibilities. D can be either here, or when you look like this, there is only one person between A and D. So similarly, if you look like in this direction, you will D can be here also. So we don't know in which direction. So these 2 are possibilities when it is only said A is seated 2 seats from D. Okay, so we'll again split this into 2 cases. I'll just, so there are 2 possibilities. I will just assume D is here in the first case. So let D be here in the case 1. So case 2 will be similarly C, A, D is here in this position. Then 2 more positions are there to be filled. This is case 1 and this is case 2. Now it is given B is not seated next to A. So the only option that is left to fill in B is this position. This is seated next to A. If B comes here, B becomes seated next to A. So we will fill in that information also. So B is filled in case 1. Similarly, if you look at case 2, the only option that is left for B is here. So we filled in B also. Now the only person that is left is E. There is only one seat left. So we can go ahead and fill that also. just move this to E. We got our two scenarios. Now there is two more scenarios. We first assumed A is in this position. A could be here also. Since this is circular arrangement and every statements are will become symmetrical if you look at it. So when you so instead of going through all the statement again, we can easily write A. We assume A is here. Then we just have to see which all elements are connected to which all. So C is connected to B, so this becomes a symmetric. So A is connected to E, so we can write E here. B is connected to D. This is third case. So this case also possible with the given information, and fourth case will be symmetric to this. So we just see A here, D here, and A is connected to E. So A is connected to E is connected to B, is connected to D. So this is also possible. So in total, there are four scenarios possible with the given information. Now we will see on the basis of above information, which of the following must be true. D is seated next to B. So if you see, D is always seated next to B in all these four scenarios. So one is true. So second is E is seated next to A. E is seated next to A in 1 and 2. E is seated next to A. So in all four scenarios, E is seated next to A. So 1 and 2 is true. Now third statement is D and C are separated by 2 seats. So if you see one, D and C are separated by 2 seats in this direction. But in scenario 2, if you see, D and C are not separated by 2 seats. They are adjacent to each other. They are sitting next to each other. So in scenario 2, it fails. So we cannot say D and C are separated by 2 seats is true in all scenarios. So 3 becomes false. So the correct answer is B, 1 and 2 only. So it's little time consuming question since we had 4 scenarios. So the time spent is not as worth for the mark we get. There is only one question. There is no follow-up questions. So yeah, but if you can quickly draw this, if you know the concept, you don't have to draw this. You will not take this much time to come up with the 4 scenarios. Anyway, so I hope you understood how we drew 4 scenarios. Whenever there is 2 possibilities, split it into 2 cases and draw each case separately and see whether all the statements applies to all the scenarios. Okay. Solution to question 6 is B, 1 and 2 only.